Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's a chess show on Pod TV. My name is Sasha Star, and today guests are Professor Ken Regan. Welcome to the show, Ken.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much for having me on again. There was a little blip.
Excellent. Thank you. It's my always pleasure to have you, as well as Jim Eat from Eat Foundation. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Hi, Sasha. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, great. So now we have very interesting tournaments for example, I don't even have time to follow all that. However, my wife is is really big on this, and she's watching all these broadcasts like there's no tomorrow, including this one, which is now happening. It's a Grand Chess Tour Rapid and Bliss tournament in Croatia, in Zagreb. I'm amazed at the quality of the broadcast. This is supposedly is the high standard of human play, because we have Carlsen, we have Nepa, we have Caruana, we have just a great depth of the top talents. Probably with absence of world champion Dean Lejeune, which unfortunately was expected. But otherwise, it's a top-rated tournament and a very interesting format as always. They have one round of rapid play, where all play all, 9 rounds, 10 people, 9 rounds. And they have then 2 days, so it's 3 rounds each day, 3 days. And then there will be 2 more rounds of blitz play. And in tournament play, it's 2 points a win, 1 point draw, 0 point for loss. And it's a normal system in blitz, so 1 point, half point, and 0. But there are 2 rounds, whereas in rapid, only 1 round. So let me ask you, are you following this tournament, Ken?
Yes, I am, and I just saw one of the most optically beautiful chess moves played.
Wow.
In Carlsen against Duda.
Carlsen Duda, yeah.
Yes.
That's going on now.
Yes, let's put it on now. If so, that's fine. Let me present my screen. And, okay, let's see. Entire screen. There was screen 1 and share. And here we are, Carlsen Duda. So this is from the 8th round, or is it round 7? Wait, it's round 8. Yeah, just played. And both Carlsen and Firouzja won their games as white this round. But let's take a look, because I think I have not had a minute yet to put this into ChessBase to see how the official opening went. But this is a matter of preparation, and how one inadvisable move around move 15 by Black can really cost the game and lead to a very sudden, shocking ending. So, okay, so I'm sure this is theory.
Yep.
Going out a long ways, and looks like Black is fine here with the tempo on the queen, and then castles. Black will actually be ahead on development, but Black's speed pawn was hanging, so Black takes a move to stop there to get that, and now Black can't castle. So White is keeping just a 1 tempo initiative here. Now it's a question of how Black meets it. Well, Black plays the bishop back, and once again, White has a 1 tempo initiative. This has to be navigated carefully. And in fact, Black's best move is to castle right now, according to the computer.
Yeah, you would think that's the natural move.
That's a natural move, but instead, Black played a non-threat. And as you can see from the evaluation,
right,
there's a tactical flaw. I don't know whether the move we're going to see in 3 moves from now is the thing that was overlooked. But of course, the bishop is not threatened on that.
Right.
On that square. So it's maybe Black thought Black could castle with tempo, but it's White's move. And White has this now piling on.
Right.
And okay, so we capture So black captures that and captures this, and now you have to think tactically.
Yeah, you
what is
never castled. You forgot.
Yeah, you're not in the castle, and you're being threatened. So black may have thought that this move was going to hold the balance, but I should hide the screen here.
No, it seems to me that black thought that he's playing Kramnik's chess, where there is no castle.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it could be.
That's why he hasn't castled at all.
Yeah, so if you're thinking tactically, you might reason the position. Okay, well, white can, if white plays rook f1, I've beaten off a fair bit of the attack. Actually, I could play, I don't know, g5 even might be possible. But if white goes rook c8 check, black plays king d7, and now the rook on h8 is stopping white from following up with rook d8 check. So white can capture the rook on h8, but then I have queen e1 check takes f2.
Right.
And it's got to be at least a perpetual. It might be more. In fact, I think it is more. It's made on f5.
Mm-hmm.
So queen to king h2, queen f1 check, king g4, queen f5 mate. So what's white's move in this position? Simultaneously guarding the rook and making more threats. And white's move is the spectacular bishop g5, putting the piece on what looks like a forbidden square. Okay.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
That is so unexpected.
Right. You can't take with the pawn because the rook is hanging.
Yeah.
If you take with the queen, then white will trade queens and have rook c8 check, winning black's rook. Unfortunately, if this were chess 960, I wonder, there's a joke where Wesley So thought that he would be able to do a chess 960 castling where his king was already on g8 to bring the rook into f8 to block a check. You unfortunately cannot castle out of check to block a check after white's rook c8. And unfortunately, black has to do something. I wonder why exactly does queen d7 fail here? Let's see if we can puzzle it out. Not immediately obvious to me why queen d7 is bad.
Maybe something simple. Queen takes e4.
Yeah, take on g5, and then because queen e5 might be.
Yeah.
Well, no, then black can castle, and you lost a pawn. I don't know. Let's see what the computer says. Oh, bishop e3 is strong, and then after black retreats the knight, white plays bishop. Yeah. So this is thematic. Yeah. So this is the point.
Yeah.
I think in terms of you're keeping black from castling, black's still gotten by the throat. Okay. So the computer agrees black's best move is to capture the bishop with the knight, but now white wins an exchange. And even though black has is going to get a few pawns for this is really not any trouble converting at all. White's queen and rook work too well together. Black's queen and knight black's knight doesn't have any foothold squares. There's no real way to create threats. So this just requires a few careful moves by white. Any endgame is also lost because black's knight cannot cover the queen side. So white just flicks black's pieces out of the way. This keeps black's king from retreating to any safety. There isn't much that black can do going after that pawn.
Ouch.
No, you know what? I have a feeling I followed this was how the game ended. Yeah. So this is just all over.
Well, you can't. Well, no. Yeah, it's all over.
Yeah. Wins this pawn. So.
Yep.
Yeah, but that move was really.
So it'd be interesting to know whether bishop g5 was seen in preparation before the game, or whether it was.
Well, I don't think they would have prepared for h6. I think.
Oh yeah, that's true.
casting is such a natural move that that's probably where their preparation would have ended without looking at a move like h6. But
Yeah.
in any case, finding it over the board this is the kind of move that I really struggled with the bishop to g5, because it also moving backwards attacks the queen and protects the rook through the queen. So
Right.
that's the kind of move that I could see that moving forward if the bishop were skewering the queen to or pinning the queen. That was obvious to me. But the moving backwards like
Actually,
that.
Jim, you're right. The backward piece moves are the most difficult to find.
Yes, and
That
I
was
have
to me.
basically that as a theorem in my data, that backward moves are found, good backward moves are found less often by human players. And attacking moves are played, advancing moves are played more often than they
And
should.
computers would have no trouble with that. It means nothing to the computer, backwards
Right.
and forwards. Yeah, yeah. But to the human, I wonder why. That's so interesting. It was certainly true for me. I learned that early on in my playing career, that I kept missing those kinds of moves. When I would play over the games, and I would say, "Oh man, I could see it now," but I couldn't see it at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, because naturally you are always looking for attacking options.
Forward.
The backward moves don't support the attack very much, so that's why they could be really overlooked very easily.
Well, one of the early lessons, and I think this is why I started to pick up on this, is I was playing a lot of chess with Danny Kopek one semester in college. He was in graduate school when I was a freshman, and he played, his knight was on f3, and he played it back to g1 to reroute it to e2, and I was kind of amazed. You know, it had no prospects on f3, and on e2 it could come into c3 and then into the game. And it was like a backwards move that was actually a developing move. It really opened up my eyes.
Yeah.
So back to the tournaments. You know, this is a series of tournaments, right, Sasha, that we're talking about?
Yeah, it's a Grand Chess Tour system.
Right.
They have about five tournaments a year. And well, not only that they have extremely strong players, and of course Garry Kasparov is instrumental in all this setup, but the quality of production, the commentaries, visuals, this all second to none. A lot of sites improved their representation or so on, but I think they're still miles away from everybody else. And remember, for example, what you see now, okay, they have a location of tournament is in Zagreb. So they have one commentator is in Zagreb, and right, master Grandmaster actually, Chirila. And then they have studio in San Luis, where there is Yasser Seiravan and Pakidze, a former
in St. Louis, yes,
champion. Yeah, they are in St. Louis, and they have guests, and it's very dynamic. And then they have the Grandmaster Miroshnichenko, who is analyzing at the computer chessboard, so he can see computer lines and everything else, and he's
right.
It's so the flow is just incredible. It's and they have very, very few, if any, technical flows. It's still very fragile online situation, as we know from our shows as well. But their production is just second to none. I'm impressed. I've been in St. Louis. I saw their studio.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
It's just fantastic. I'm really glad that they're doing such a wonderful, fantastic job. I remember one game where who was the white pieces were early in the opening. Was it Napa or somebody else who played H4 in very early? It was in French, H4, and then they continued to play a game. And Yasser made very interesting comment. If this position would be shown to him, and he would be asked how you can improve white's position, he would say to play H4 back to H2.
Yes. Yep. Well, I could show something related to that
Okay.
from Firouzja's game. Also has an amazing interval toward the end. So,
Let's see.
okay, so let me do this one more time here. I think it works best to do my entire screen, so never mind the cricket score up. Okay,
Shout
so
out to
Firouzja.
St. Louis and to Yasser though that for the commentary. Go ahead.
Yep.
Ben.
Yeah, I don't know if I should click the commentary if it's copyright illegal for me to do that here. But anyway, King's India defense and a very standard kind of position where white is pawns on e4 and c4, and white is the two bishops. So it's a question of can white open the position, and then after white does open the position, can black hit back? And this is a case where black does successfully hit back and equalize the game.
Yes.
And the only reason black loses is black gets a little bit too ambitious. So, I mean, actually, at this point here, it looks very strong for white, I must say. But the computer says don't get so excited. And even though black has weaknesses, I mean, G6 is there. Black has a counterattack that is evidently going to work. So white actually, this is an interesting defensive move, and I'm sure this game would reward a lot more careful study. But you're indirectly defending the vulnerable squares on the third rank with that rook move.
Right.
White just is able to
There goes the attack.
Beat off black's immediate attack. Black defended his G-pawn. So this is, now fine. White is the two bishops, but they're not going to be on the board for the whole time because black won a pawn, and now white recaptures the pawn, and one bishop's gone. Now, again, this still looks like an optical advantage for white because black's knight is actually poorly placed at the moment. White's bishop on G2 looks like it's doing a lot of good work.
Clearly, I would favor white here.
Yeah, but now white couldn't prevent the pawns from coming off, so now it's pawns.
That changes things, yes.
Same side of the board. Black's king is actually doing pretty well, and black will very soon be. I don't know why white had to allow black's knight into the game like that, but
I don't know either.
Yeah, well, they traded it off, and now white wins a pawn, and black gets this center counterattack. The engine says completely equal, but watch what happens. Okay, so black starts to get very ambitious. And if it's blitz, I'm sure something like this would work. And now, so first the question to ask for novice chess lessons, like this should be an example of chess for dummies, is why isn't b5 check giving mate? Well, why is b5 a bad move? Now, as you'll see, black would have been very well placed to take into account. Why is b5? So black plays this. This is very subtle. Okay. And now black plays b5.
Oh.
But watch. This is amazing. Now if you capture it en passant, this is a wonderful checkmate combination because king b2. And now threatening rook a3 mate and going king a5 doesn't change that. And if b5, then
C5.
black has c5.
Oh my God!
And white is completely immolated here.
Wow!
So I'm sure that Sarich, thinking, "Wow, he can't take me en passant in that position," thought, "Okay, now I'm going to give checkmate." Unfortunately, white has this move.
Oh,
no checkmate. Even if you could play rook to a3 check, it wouldn't help. So black now. So this gets down to a very technical position where pawns come off. So, is this equal? Well, no. If you calculate it and count it out, actually,
yeah.
So this really requires attention to Dvoretsky, making sure. Well, actually, the more immediate problem is white's going to play rook c5.
Yeah.
So white says this doesn't need Dvoretsky. This is very clearly black's not getting anywhere near the tempos needed. So here black resigned or fell on time.
Wow.
So
that would be a very pretty checkmate in that variation to play b6.
Yeah.
B5.
A
Oh,
great trap. Would have worked in blitz for sure.
Probably, yeah. I would have
100%.
taken en passant without thinking. Yes.
But no.
Okay, so we are in.
Sasha, I wanted to talk a little bit more about not only is it a great organization, but these, not only is it independently organized, but the first one I think was in Romania. Correct me if I'm wrong. The second one was
Yes.
Poland, and now Croatia.
Yes.
And the first one was won by Fabio.
Yes.
Next one was by Carlson.
Okay.
And now Fabio and Nepo are leading.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And-
I'm just curious as to, what does this say about Fabio's chances? Has he really become a world championship caliber player? And I think clearly, yes.
Mhm.
Clearly, yes. In fact, maybe he's playing even more enterprising chess than he was playing back 5 years ago when he was playing Carlson World Championship match.
Exactly. This
think
is what I think if they played now, it'd be a more interesting match. But,
Mhm.
who knows? They wouldn't play under the classical time controls. They would play a mixture like this.
Yeah.
And is this more entertaining than the traditional time controls? And I think the answer is yes, but I haven't really decided yet. I haven't made up my mind. But this kinds of tournaments seem to be the future rather than the
Well, if you want entertainment, we do have to talk about the ending of the Global Chess League on Saturday.
Absolutely. That was a fantastic ending of this tournament.
Mhm.
That's a good
Very
point.
interesting, very unexpected system when they're throwing. Basically, you have to take the card, and it's boards from 1 to 6. And let's see if number 4 comes. And board number 4 players, they are playing a speed game, which will decide. Unexpectedly, they have 4 draws in a row until the decisive game finally was played. And what a game! Remember this? If even he beat this his opponent 4 times in a row, with black and with white and every position, and the decisive, the most important game, all of a sudden he lost. That was just incredible ending. Yeah.
Well,
So this format is very, very interesting. I think it has a great future. Finally, at the close to the end of this tournament, I understood the strange names that they were giving to the teams, which I couldn't remember even one of them.
I know.
Why they wouldn't call here's a Nant team, here is a say a Nepa team or something like
Magnus or something.
Yeah, I think I understood the idea. Each team is owned by a person. I don't know the details, what the kind of a contracts he signs,
Right.
how much he pays, and all this stuff. I don't know that. But what's important is that the next edition of this tournament, the owner of the team, if somebody is not available, he can hire somebody else to replace whoever is not available. So he has a responsibility to have his team in the best order. Again, is it something? What's your opinion? Similar to that?
About organizing the teams.
Yeah.
I don't know. It maybe was. I don't know if it was explained well enough casually.
I don't think so.
Where whether these are really franchises in the sense of sports.
Right.
Or maybe not enough was done to differentiate it as these being 6 ad hoc teams.
I think they were sponsors, like Sasha was saying, and sponsors is not necessarily the same as team owners.
Exactly. Okay, that's exactly, Jim. You're absolutely correct. So there are team owners. It's like you're right, Ken. It's a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it any other way as a franchise, similar to NBA or American football or to any other sports. So there are franchises. I think in a few years, if these tournaments will be regularly held, it will represent a great value from the business perspective, simply because you can sell advertising, you can bring sponsors, you can do a lot of things with this format.
Yes, that's right. So it'd be interesting to see if there's continuity of who represents which team. It was like the winning team had Levan Aronian, American now, formerly Armenian, first
Yep.
board, then two Chinese, Yu Yangyi and Wei Yi, and then Katerina Lagno represents Russia with the FIDE flag. I don't think she's moved. And then, astoundingly, Sarasata Kadamalsharia, formerly of Iran, and she shows with the Iranian flag here, although she's moved to Spain, but I guess is not yet a member of the Spanish Federation. And then the hero at the end, Jonas Bjerre from Denmark.
Mm-hmm. That's a great story.
And can we trade players between franchises?
Yeah.
Can we swap them and with a player to be named later? Can that go on?
That's right. The losing team in the final had 3 Indians and an Indian identified name, the Upgrad Mumba Masters. So, but
my question though, is this a FIDE initiative?
I think so. Yes, it's let's see. I'm pretty sure. Yes, it is a FIDE initiative, joint with people in Dubai and people worldwide. So let's see. I guess if I can, I have to go to past news on FIDE to check that out. Yeah, I guess that's something I should know.
Well,
I never seen the FIDE's not even initiating this tournament, but even affiliation.
Yeah, I guess I don't. I guess I don't see it on.
At least during broadcasts, it was FIDE was never mentioned even once.
Yeah, and I don't see it on the FIDE news page.
And what about these tournaments that in Romania, Poland, and Croatia?
Now that is on the FIDE news page, the Grand Chess Tour, Super United, Rapid and Blitz Croatia.
Do they have a role in it?
No.
I'm not sure. I guess the one thing I can say is that I am officially monitoring Croatia. I was not officially monitoring the Global Chess League, although I sent reports because I know I've done a lot of things for the chief arbiter there. So,
okay. So my question is that these people organizing these wonderful new events, it's not being initiated by the World Governing Organization. They're independent organizers.
Absolutely.
Putting this together.
I think it has Anand's influence, though. That's
so the FIDE vice president is involved.
Maybe.
I
mean, certainly a major sponsorship from India. So,
but I believe in tipping the hat to the organizers of this, and so I would like to know who to give credit to, and I don't think this is something that I would give credit to FIDE for doing.
Yeah, you may be right. It was in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. So,
but I think instrumental to this tournament was the how do you call it? Tech Mahindra. It's an Indian high-tech company.
Yeah.
And there was an interview with the president and supposedly owner of the company, Mahindra himself. And I think if you will try to evaluate what was role of actually Mahindra company, Dubai organizers, and FIDE, I think all contributed probably, but I think number one is definitely Mahindra company in India.
Well, I do have this news item which I found from 2 years ago. FIDE and Tech Mahindra announced a landmark partnership marking a key milestone in the creation of the Global Chess League.
All right.
So this certainly is an origin with FIDE.
Good.
Or maybe, I don't know why it was more. And FIDE and Tech Mahindra announced dates for the first Global Chess League. Here we go. So this was on the FIDE news page. So now maybe I don't understand why I didn't find it on the FIDE news page just now. Maybe I just missed it.
Well,
nothing of this year. Everything is 2022.
Here we go. Viswanathan Anand is certainly speaking up. So that was that was my impression.
Okay.
So, well, we can't, as long as you've got my screen showing, might as well show the key moment. And I've actually backed it up to this position because this is where it becomes an interesting battle of 2 bishops versus 2 knights.
Right.
in a position that gives prospects for both kinds of piece. There's squares black can sink into. But if white, for instance, were able to get bishops on the a3, f8 and a2, g8 diagonal, black would be in dire trouble. So let's see how people maneuver. So I'm not going to try to offer analysis of every move, but white is trying to open squares and open that flank of the board where where black's blockade of the d pawn could be dissolved. Like right now, rook c6 check is a major threat, which black has to run to go. And white is quite happy to sacrifice a pawn because white's going to have the better play on the open lines. Here we go.
This activates the two bishops.
Yes. And the two bishops, there's a chance of making a pass pawn on the queen sides. And that, if the bishops are able to get together in the center and escort a pawn, that would be a winning combination.
So I wonder if we got a general principle here, Ken. Like we used to say, to activate the rook was worth a pawn in an ending. And now maybe it's worth a pawn to activate the two bishops.
Yeah, white is almost there. Black has to, king b6 would not work because of rook d6 check. So black has to devote the rook to the menial task of guarding a pawn from in front. From behind.
Yeah, rooks hate to do guard duty.
Yeah. But black has some counterplay, so here they come.
It looks complicated to me. I can't give you
it might feel like desperation while you're playing it. Now, this is a good lever to break up black's pawn chain, which it does. On the other hand, black gets a few tempi, and now I thought at this point, and now the commentators actually said at this point, well, now I think this is going to be a draw because one of white's bishops is going to disappear. But actually, no. Black couldn't capture the bishop because there would have been a counterattack on d7. And now the knight is pinned, and that's actually a misstep that white doesn't take advantage of. But the black was able to organize the knights, but white's two bishops are still very much alive.
I would have to go back over that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, the amazing thing is capturing the pawn is a big mistake. Instead, bishop e8, hunting for bear. When you yes, black would have to play king f8 or king g8.
Right. That
would have been an important tempo game.
Correct. That would have driven the king further. Away
now
from the action.
Now black has counterattack possibilities. Black's king is better placed, so this ought to be a draw. But white goes ahead and tries to win it, and this is another case of trying too hard to win in some sense.
Oh no, really?
So the king goes away. There we go. So is it going to be self-mate? Well, let's see. All right. So now white goes in there. Now what white has to do is capture, and you lose a piece, but you got 2 pawns for it, and the game, of course, is drawn. But I mean, they were down to just increments. White played there, and rook a2 mate, unfortunately.
Oh,
so that's how the entire
crying yourself to sleep that night.
$250,000 in prize money depended on that. So it was wildly entertaining. I mean, Tanya Sachdev was screeching as she was covering these moves happening in rapid fashion.
That was very entertaining. Also, good commentary. I just found, to my taste, she and her counterpart, another Indian, I don't know, grandmaster or master or whoever, I think they were a little bit too loud, both of them. And they were screaming, "Oh my God, what's happening?" Just a little bit too much, but that's my opinion.
It's more than you usually hear at football or baseball. But
that's something you can talk to people about and they can learn from. Because I think that there's a tendency to try to make it more exciting than it's necessary.
Yes.
The commentators don't have to make the action too exciting. But when we're watching soccer and the guy announces "Goal,"
Argentinian TV when you're watching the match, just screaming like crazy.
Yeah, and the home run calls in baseball. Everybody's got their own thing, but.
So chess is moving in a very interesting.
I think so. I'm really, who's ever behind all of this, if FIDE deserves part of the credit. I want
Yes.
to give it to them. But
A friend of mine who's Indian friend of mine who's a very sober person posted on Facebook that as far as script writing go, GCL beats IPL, which is the Indian Premier League cricket, T20, 3-hour cricket matches in terms of having exciting finishes. I mean, when you play 3-hour cricket, you're just going out to wham the ball, and you don't care if you lose wickets because there's only 20 overs. So it's exciting cricket. But he said this was a more unlikely script and more exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for today's show, and next week we will analyze the end of this Croatia tournament.
Welcome.
Including all blitz results and overall and any other ages. By the way, we didn't even mention that there is a world championship.
The Women's World Championship.
Ladies, nobody say even a word about it.
I was going to mention at the beginning,
Yeah, but there is such thing like this. I remember the times when Gaprindashvili, Chiburdanidze were playing their matches. It was much better publicized, I should say. Anyway, maybe the best times are coming for ladies as well.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the match, we'll have a lot more to say. There were 2 exploratory draws to begin, so we'll have a lot more to say next week.
You know that. Okay, have a great week, and see you next week.
Thank you again, Sasha.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.